Welcome to another episode of the Divine Stream Radio podcast. I'm your host, Jason Blaiklock. Today, we're exploring Psalm 29, a psalm of David that captures the majesty and power of God's voice. In Psalm 29, David presents a vivid depiction of God's glory and might as expressed through his voice in creation, as verses 1 to 2. Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendour of holiness. And David calls on the heavenly beings to recognise and honour God's immense glory and strength. Verses 3 to 4. The voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. The imagery here emphasises the power and majesty of God's voice, likening it to a mighty storm. Verses 5 to 6. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf and Syrian like a young wild ox. God's voice is so powerful that it can break the strongest trees and cause mountains to leap. Verses 7 to 9. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth and strips the forest bare. And in his temple all cry, "Glory!" These verses depict the awe-inspiring and transformative nature of God's voice, impacting all of creation. Verses 10 to 11. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as King forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. The psalm concludes with a reminder of God's eternal reign and a prayer for his people to receive strength and peace. Reflecting on Psalm 29, we are reminded of the powerful presence of God in the world and his ability to bring both awe and peace into our lives. Thanks for listening. I invite you to join the discussion. Visit our podcast super site at godstreamradio.com. There you'll find podcasts from leading Christian authors and many Christian musicians. Plus, be sure to subscribe to the Divine Stream Radio newsletter, where you'll receive inspiring messages and have the chance to enter our weekly draw for a chance to win a beautiful A4 and 63-page study guide of the book of Job. You can subscribe by clicking the link in this podcast or by visiting divinestreamradio.com directly. Let's walk this journey of reliance on God together. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, exercise the patience of Job, stay faithful and seek God's guidance.